So we have a fun video today going out to the audience of one. Apparently, well, at least what I consider one of my kin. One of the youngins among my brothers and sisters is going to be taking up percussion. So I thought I might do something just to inspire a little bit, or I don't know, kind of give some pointers of things that I wish I would have heard from early on. So it's like, first off, you're starting off with your practice block, and trying to respect your sticks and your movements. So I figured I would break out one of my favorite pieces. It's a shallow snare drum, but it mimics a marching drum. So it kind of gives you that same feel. So I'm just going to mount this up top, and you always start out with your rudiments. Your right, left, right. And then you start learning your double strokes. Mind you, I'm not that good, but it gives you an idea. Eventually you'll work yourself up to something like that. Then eventually you have this weird big old drum kit like I do, which might be largely useless for some purposes, but in general, just remembering you got your snare drum, which is the heart of the entire kit. Your bass drum, which is really that pulse, and then of course your hi-hat, which for most people this is your hi-hat on a traditional kit. For me, I play open-handed. I'm a little bit weird. My left foot still runs the hi-hat, but so with that, if I were to play a two-handed beat, what's it called? Pink Pony Club. When you break that down, it's kind of a cool little two-handed shuffle, as it were. But the backbeat of that is still that. Me having a little bit of fun with that, so I'll play it traditional. Or I could play it two-handed, which is how I like to play. I like to dual everything up. I was having a little bit too much fun, but now I'm going to have a lot of fun. And sometimes it helps when you have another snare drum. Back to basics. That's another thing I wanted to point out, because I'm not much of a teacher and I'm really not that good. But learning how to relax your hands, not put a death grip on your stick, but learning how to, you kind of have that grip between your first few fingers, but it's your last three fingers that do all the work. So when I'm playing these patterns between my right cymbal and my right, I find them the most free, and that really allows my left hand to really start doing what my left hand does. So let's try to start this simple again and then build it up. Now again, I'm not very good, but I can only play all of this stuff because of the basic fundamentals that I never really learned when I started. I started when I was 12 years old. I'm 39. So I had to unlearn a whole lot of bad things just to get back to the basics of respecting and notice the difference. Right, left, right, left, right, left. Don't let one hand become more dominant than the other. That's why I like playing this open-handed setup where I can always just kind of, I can trade off the beat and not have to overthink what else I'm trying to do. But respect your rudiments, respect how you hold your drumsticks, but especially just my body mechanics. I like to think they're pretty good. I'm nice and relaxed. I'm not swinging and flailing my arms around like, and putting a death grip on my sticks like you see a lot of people. But that you find some of the better drummers just have that nice little relaxed. Thought that you had to grip and like swing the sticks as hard as possible. But the more you learn to kind of relax and just yeah, the further and further you're gonna go. But hopefully it helped a little bit. But to kind of wrap up. That one goes out to Izzie. And just to make your parents a little bit upset, make you the same deal my parents made me when I started playing percussion. When I said I wanted to pick up the sticks, they gave me a practice pad, and they said if I made it an entire year and I was committed, I'll say this to your face. They told me if I was truly committed and I kept up with playing, I kept up with my rudiment book, after a year, they would get me a snare drum. And then if I kept up for another year, they would get me a drum kit. So here's my deal that your parents may not like. My favorite practice snare that I showed you at the beginning of the video, if you keep up with everything and you show some progress that your parents showed to me, I'm going to send this to you in a year. And that's going to be your starting practice snare drum. And then I don't know that I'm promising you a drum kit in the next 2 years. But you keep up with everything. I'll post you some videos. You send me some progress, and I'll work on getting this sent off to you. Much to your parents' chagrin, because they just welcomed a percussionist into the family, and there's nothing quiet about it. So be patient. Enjoy your rudiments. Have respect for your instrument. The drums aren't just something to hit. Respect them as an instrument, and I'm happy to be part of the journey. Thanks for letting me share this video with you.